Hi, welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. And animal wrangling for me, as always, is our volunteer coordinator, Sean Snyder. Today, we've been doing a lot of dogs recently, so I switched it up a little bit. We have a couple of dogs. We're going to introduce you to a few more cats than we have been lately. But first up, we have one of our new additions to the adoption floor. This is Rocky, and Rocky is, despite his coloring, a Rottweiler mix. If you look at his face, you can definitely see the Rottie in there. We're not sure exactly what he's mixed with, but he has this great kind of red coloring, and he is a great size, actually. You know, he's a large dog at about 70 pounds, but he's not too big. He's very friendly. He's very affectionate. He has a ton of great qualities. I actually took him to the radio the other day, and it was just easier to kind of get him in my car, which was already defrosted as we've hit winter, and he jumped right in the back. He was really, well behaved. He rode well in the car, sat back there quiet, looked out the window. A lot of dogs are trying to climb all into the front seat or get into the back and do all kinds of stuff, and he was just, pretty relaxed and comfortable in the car. He takes treats very nicely, which is another thing. A lot of the bigger dogs can be kind of rude when they're taking their snacks, but he takes them very nicely, very gently. But he can be a little shy at first. It doesn't take him really a long time to warm up, just a couple of minutes, but you always want to be conscious of that in new environments with new people. You don't want to come in hot and heavy. You want to come in, nice and slow and relaxed, and then he'll kind of be your best friend shortly thereafter. We don't have any restrictions listed for Rocky, so he could go into a variety of different types of homes. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're able to handle a dog of his size, make sure that it's going to be a good fit for your family.
Rocky seems like a great dog. How did he end up at the shelter?
So Rocky doesn't always, some of the dogs that we get, have some challenges, and Rocky doesn't seem to have very many of those. And the reason that he was brought to our facility was just because his family was moving. We see that fairly frequently, but there are lots of resources out there. Some places even have lists, whether you're moving here or going to a different agency. Some local, like humane societies, will have lists of pet-friendly housing so that you can kind of do a little bit of research. And a lot of housing here in Frederick is pet-friendly. You just want to make sure that obviously you're looking into how many pets are you allowed to have, or the sizes of the animals and things like that. Because he was previously owned, we do have some more information from his former owners. He did previously live with cats, and they didn't list any issues there. He did live with another smaller dog, and we haven't seen any issues here with him in terms of getting along with the other dogs. So he should be a great addition to a multi-pet household. But obviously you want to make sure that if you have a dog, you're bringing them here to meet Rocky, make sure that they're going to get along, and that you're doing proper introductions when you actually do get your new pet into your household. If you're interested in meeting with Rocky, you can do so by making an appointment at our booking website, which is visit fcac.as.me. Our next dog is one of our very new additions to the adoption floor. He made it out just this week. His name is Joey, and he is a border collie, and he's still quite a young dog at about 8 to 10 months old. So he's still going to have a lot of that, puppy or adolescent dog energy, mixed in with just the normal I'm a border collie energy. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for all of that before you take this guy on as a new pet. Border Collies tend to need a lot of exercise, but they're also super smart, so they're great dogs if you want to do things like agility and those types of training activities. They can be really fun for those dogs. Just in general, training, making sure that he's getting all of that mental stimulation that a breed this smart tends to need. He has passed our behavior assessment, and he has just been a dog that people are constantly falling in love with. All of our staff are like, oh, we love Joey, we want to go hang out with Joey. He's very relaxed and affectionate and pretty easygoing, and he likes to cuddle and he likes to play, but he can be a little bit nervous in new environments. You walk into Joey's kennel, he's all jumping all over you, and he's like, let's go. But today he's in a room with some different people, some different type of stimuli, in a room that he's never been in before. He's a little bit more cautious, so you always want to take that into consideration. When you're looking at the dogs, you may need to meet them a couple times to really see their true personality, and it may take a couple of days for them or weeks to really warm up in your household as well.
Does Joey seem a little underweight?
So Joey is a little bit underweight, but he has made big strides since he first came in. So he was about 20 pounds when he first came in on the 30th of October. So that's why he's been here for so long before we actually put him on the adoption floors, because we had him on a plan to slowly put weight on him in a way that's going to be safe and effective for him. And now he's up to 32.3 pounds. And so that's a good weight, and he's on the adoption floor. But anybody who adopts Joey is going to want to check in with their vet, figure out what the ideal weight for him is, and make sure that he's staying on a schedule to not get him to that point too quickly, so that he's going to maintain a healthy lifestyle moving forward. Anyone interested in Joey can meet him again by just going to our booking website, which is visit fcac.as.me. We do have appointments available 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, with evening appointments available on Wednesdays. Our first feline guest for you today is one of our seniors. November is Adopt a Senior Pet Month. So if you were to apply for and be approved or actually be able to take home your pet during the month of November, all of our seniors ages 5 and up are going to go home for just $50 instead of our traditional adoption fee. And that goes for both cats and dogs. And Snickers qualifies for that at 7 years old. She is one of our seniors. And Snickers is one of my favorite cats. I really enjoy her. She's a very confident cat. She's always, right at the front of her cage, asking for attention. You open it up and she's just super curious. She wants to get out and explore. She wants to sit on laps and cuddle. She has a lot of those great qualities that a lot of our cat adopters say that they're looking for. And the benefit of an older cat is that you kind of know that that's her personality. She's going to maintain that. And because she is exhibiting, that confident, relaxed, affectionate behavior here in the shelter, where it's really quite stressful, in a more relaxed home environment, you're definitely going to see that as well. She is a tortie mix. You can see, the different colors, the splotches and all of that stuff. A lot of people would say that they're calicos. I think even her previous owner listed that. But calicos have patches of color on top of white. Torties and torbies have all of those colors kind of mixed in. It's the same genetic marker, but it is definitely a different color pattern. And if your animal gets lost, you want to make sure you're able to identify them properly. So knowing that can be really, really helpful.
So Snickers was previously owned. How did she end up at the shelter?
So animals come for a variety of different reasons, and unfortunately we've been seeing this particular reason quite a bit recently, and just that her owner is now suffering from a situation where there's homelessness involved. And so she did what was responsible and best for her pets, since she didn't have a proper place to house them, and brought them here. Snickers actually came in with another cat named Snow, who has since been adopted, and they were both very affectionate, very social animals, really well cared for. So if you're looking to add an additional cat to an existing cat in your household, Snickers would be a good fit, because she did successfully live with another cat, and she doesn't seem to be bothered by the cats surrounding her in her cages and things, and the cages around her here at the shelter. But again, she's just going to be a great cat. But sadly, she's getting into lap cat mode now. Sadly, a lot of the older cats get overlooked when we have so many kittens on the floor. So I would definitely encourage people who are looking for a sweet, affectionate lap cat to take a look at Snickers. And the only way that you can do that is by booking an appointment. And if you want to do that, you need to go to visit fcac.as.me. Cat is another one of our seniors. Yes, she is a cat, but her name is also Cat. She is listed as approximately 4 to 5 years old, but when we're talking about our ages, we always go with the higher one. So that would make her eligible for the senior discount if you were to adopt in the month of November as well. She is a tortie, just like Snickers, but their coloring is a little bit different. So just like, with any brown tabby or whatever, there's subtle differences and kind of make them unique and special. And one of the things about Cat is that she loves a bed. That's one of her most favorite things. We always try to make sure that she has a bed in her cage. She likes very specific kinds of beds with little walls so that she can lean in on them and things like that. And that's why we brought her out today in her bed, because it's going to make her feel more comfortable and more relaxed. Cats really love to have things that smell like them. Sometimes we call them scent soakers. So if we have a cat that is a little bit more fearful, or maybe has been here for a really long time, has something that they really like a bed, we often try to send that home with the animal, because that'll make that transition into a new home a little bit easier for them. It's going to make them feel safe and secure in that new environment, to have something that's familiar and makes them feel comfortable. Cat is listed as kind of a more independent cat, but she loves attention, she loves affection. As you can see right now, she's soaking up all of the pets that Sean is giving her. Things that she doesn't like, being picked up. She prefers people to come to her and visit with her. So she wasn't super excited about her little roller coaster ride out to the show today. So she prefers to be, keep her feet on the ground and come to you, which is okay. A lot of cats don't like to be picked up. So you just want to make sure that, when you're getting them home, you're always being respectful of those boundaries that they set.
Cat's paperwork says RTS. What does that mean?
So RTS stands for Return to Shelter, which means that those animals have been here previously and have been returned to us. We stand by our animals lifelong, so if you ever adopt a pet from us and for whatever reason you can't keep it, in this case I think they said allergies were developing, we will take it back. You'll see RTS written on a fair amount of the profiles sometimes when you come to visit an animal, and that just means that they were previously a resident here. And when that happens, we provide not only the paperwork that we have for them currently in terms of their medical and their behavior assessments, but also information from the last time that they were here. So in Kat's case, when she was adopted as a 1 to 2-year-old cat, she was named Mistletoe. So in her profile, you're going to see lots of information about a cat named Mistletoe. They are one in the same. So if you're interested in making this cat bed loving cat part of your family, you have lots of beds that you can set up for her in front of windows and keep her nice and cozy. She is looking for a forever family, preferably one that does not have dogs. She doesn't seem to be interested in having canine companions, but you can start that whole process by filling out an application and making an appointment to visit by going to visitfcac.as.me. So we introduced you to some of our senior pets, but everybody wants kittens, so now we have a couple of kittens for you. These aren't our teeny tiny, 2.5 to 3 month old kittens. They're a little bit older, but still full of that kitten energy and looking for forever homes. So this is Jesse, and he is a domestic medium hair, and he's about 6 months old at this point, and he is your typical super affectionate, playful cat. He's a little bit bigger, so he might be a big guy if you're looking for a big cat in the future. Maybe Jesse's the right one for you. But he is definitely very relaxed, very social. He does well with the other cats on the adoption floor. And it's just kind of shocking that he hasn't found a forever home quite yet, because generally speaking, people love the long and medium-haired cats. They love the big poofy tail and all of that stuff. But for whatever reason, maybe it's more of his quiet nature. He's been a little bit overlooked of late.
Did Jesse have any siblings?
So he came in previously owned with another cat named Jazzy, and Jazzy was a short hair gray tabby and white who was just a little bit more outgoing. I think he definitely stood out more in the cage because he was more in your face. But the two of them really enjoyed spending time together. They would cuddle together, they would play together. So if you are looking to add an additional cat to a multi-cat household, then Jesse might be a really good fit, because not only is he able to fit in those situations with other cats successfully, but he seems to really enjoy that type of interaction. And since his brother was adopted, he does seem to be a little bit lonely. He lost his kind of roommate and his companion. So you'll probably really enjoy having that type of interaction again. The reason that we separated them was because they weren't what we call bonded. They enjoyed each other's company, but they weren't really reliant on each other for emotional support and things like that. We do have a few cats on the adoption floor that are bonded. When you separate them, they get really upset. They do things like stop eating. That wasn't the case with these guys, which is why we felt it was okay to separate them. But again, he's going to be a great addition to any household. As you can see, he's been relatively confident out here. He's been soaking up all of the affection. He's been initiating petting, but also has a curious side as well. So if you're looking to make this handsome guy part of your family, the first step is to make an appointment to visit and also fill out that application. And you can find those applications as well as book that appointment at the following website, which is just going to be visitfcac.as.me. Our last guest is Wingding, and he is, if you're looking for an active cat and you like a cat that's, curious and gets into stuff and is going to liven up your household, then he might be the exact fit that you're looking for. He's about 4 to 5 months old, and he is one of our cats that lives on the bottom cage, which is probably not super great because he is a little bit of an escape artist. He likes to go out on adventures and hang out and try to go exploring, and he's just really curious, but at the same time, he loves attention. As soon as you pick him up, he starts purring. But he's constantly fighting, like, do I want to get attention or do I want to go explore? He's constantly stuck between that spot of can I do both? I don't know. What do I want to do? And that's kind of what's going on right now. When you pick him up, he's like, oh, I like this. But he's like, also, what's over there? I've not seen that before. He's very playful, but he can be hard to miss because he's on a bottom cage. So if you're seeing this and you come to the shelter to visit and you're like, I can't find him, just ask the staff. Sometimes the cats on the lower cages are a little bit harder to see. They can be easily missed. But he's just a super sweet, active kitten. He should do well in any household with other pets, whether it's cats or dogs. He should adjust relatively quickly, but he does have that really high energy. So if you have a cat in your house that is more docile, maybe a little bit more submissive, might not be a huge fan of his rambunctious style, then that might not be the best choice. So you want to think about what's going to be not only good for your family, but include your animals in your family and making sure that you're picking a pet that's going to mesh with their personalities and lifestyles as well.
So Wingding's an interesting name. Where did that come from?
That is indeed a very interesting name. So most of the animals that we feature today have been previously owned, and their names were their names. They came in with a name, so we won't change them unless they're offensive or detrimental to the adoption process. Wingding was a stray, and so that means that we get to name them here in the shelter. And one of the ways that you can tell whether it's their name or a name we've given them is by looking at their card. If you see quotation marks around it, that means that we gave them that name. And right now, one of the themes that we are using is fonts. So Wingding is a font. We also have Century out there on the adoption floor as well. So that's just a way for us to kind of be creative and get away from the traditional names like Spot and, Fido and all of those things, and be a little bit more unique for us to have some fun with it. But when we're picking those names, oftentimes, the animals that are processed about the same time all have the same theme names, or cats from foster homes tend to, the litters all seem to have names from, similar theme. And that helps us know, A, did these animals come in together? Are they part of the same litter? Or did they come in about the same time? Right now they're putting out like Thanksgiving foods. So we're going to know that all of those animals came in around Thanksgiving. So it gives us an easy idea of, how long have they been here and things like that. So mostly it's all in good fun, but it can have another purpose as well. And obviously when animals come in, we make it clear to adopters that they can change their names, obviously, if Wingding might not be a name that they're super excited about. If you're interested and excited about making Wingding part of your family, again, you want to do that by visit fcac.as.me. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to us via phone at 301-600-1546 or send us an email at animalcontrol@frederickcountymd.gov. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable pets, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks to introduce you to some more.